Hey everyone, the Muslim Lantern was recently doing some Dawah that got gate crashed by an ex-Muslim who asked the difficult questions he did not want to be asked. Let's take a look.
Can something come from nothing?
What's adultery's punishment in Islam?
Straight in there. The answer obviously is stoning. He doesn't want to tell these new guys that though.
I'll finish with them and then I'll come to you. The singularity. Whatever brought that energy and matter into singularity.
So, I mean, there's obviously a cut there. I like the fact that he's talking about like some nonsense about, the Big Bang and the singularity and stuff like that. Now, they often lie about this kind of stuff, but it's more based on ignorance than anything else. It's just whatever Dawah script they've learned. But this ex-Muslim guy actually asks the kind of questions which he knows, and he's got to lie in order to save face in front of these potential converts.
And expanded it has to possess certain attributes. You cannot have the universe without knowledge that we can't even comprehend, ultimate knowledge we can't even comprehend. Looking at the variables in the universe, how precise detailed it is, electromagnetic waves, galaxies, stars, all of things. Everything is as precise as it can be, right?
I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. It's as precise as it can be. That's just kind of gibberish.
It has to, or the universe cannot exist.
What's the punishment of adultery?
I just love that now. So just straight in there again. What's the punishment for adultery?
Go ahead.
I also believe, though, like you said there's something, there's a start.
Can be patient. Patience is good.
There's a start, okay. I believe personally, everything we know.
Something else to bring into existence.
Look into this,
Okay.
man. And the camera is there. I asked two questions. What's the punishment of adultery?
Police is there if you're not talking.
And how many days in Islam the world is made?
This hurts
Answer
you.
the
Yeah, so obviously the video was cut there again, so we didn't see him ask that second question in the actual video, but he's obviously trying to counter the narrative that the Muslim Lantern will be giving here, like saying, oh yeah, the Quran is completely in line with like what science says, and so therefore he's asking about, how many days it's taking the Islamic scripture to make the world. But I think the first question is better, and he gets on to an even better question in a second.
damn thing.
It hurts you, right? I was talking to them. I know it hurts.
Two questions.
Let it burn. Let it
None
burn.
of your business,
Let
man.
it burn, let
I
it burn.
can crack him in 2 minutes.
Right, he pauses his video to say he begins to make threats. Now, obviously, he's talking about he can crack you in the conversation. He's not making a physical threat there. He's basically saying, like, it would take me 2 minutes to undo your Islamic Dawah narrative. But he's trying to make out, and he even titled this video something like apostate threatens peaceful Muslims or some crap like that. Anyway, let's carry on.
Crack one,
Just
yeah,
give me
okay, go
60
ahead.
seconds.
You can crack sugar.
I'm
Okay,
an
let's go.
X1. I can crack you in 60
Oh,
seconds.
okay, no.
In front of your DCLR.
You can?
Yeah, I can.
Can you-
Just give
can
me
you be-
60 seconds.
All right.
What's the punishment of adultery?
Can I respond?
Yeah.
Wait for 10 minutes. They're going to go and we can talk.
What's the punishment?
Yeah, that's the important thing. Yeah, they're going to go and then we can talk, because you're giving all this bullshit about, the Quran is so like in connection with scientific reality. You don't want to talk about these hard questions. You want these two white guys to get the hell out of there before you get to the difficult stuff, because that's the stuff they're not going to want to hear, and you're not going to want them to hear.
You have to, if you don't have 10 minutes, you can walk away.
1 minute.
All right.
What's the punishment of
Anyways,
adultery?
let's come
Camera.
back. Let's come back. All right.
Masters of the universe.
Okay,
What's
so
the punishment
this existence of a
adultery?
creator. Now, after that, we say
Is
there are people.
slavery,
There are
is
people throughout
slavery
history.
legal?
There are people throughout
Is
history.
slavery
that
legal
came.
in
And there we go. Is slavery legal in Islam? And just watch the Muslim Lantern lie blatantly on camera.
Islam?
You heard about Prophet Muhammad, you heard
No,
about Jesus, you heard
it's
about Noah,
legal.
you heard about all of these people.
It's
They all
legal.
made one claim, but they all come from the entity that I told you
Islam
about.
there.
Now, what is upon you to do is to investigate these claims.
I'm a Muslim from
You know what I'm
Kuwait.
saying?
You don't teach me
Investigate
Islam.
that claim
I
and
teach-
He says there that was a lie. I hope everyone caught that before I stopped the video. He says, this is a lie. The guy's not an ex-Muslim from Kuwait. He's got an Iraqi accent. Now, I don't know Middle Eastern accents well enough to be able to tell the difference. But, I mean, first of all, this guy might have been from Kuwait and has grown up in Iraq or anything like that, assuming that the Muslim Lantern's accurate. But also the arrow was pointed at the bit like that said ex-Muslim as kind of being the lie. So he's doing this kind of thing of like, oh yeah, there's no real ex-Muslim. This guy's just a faker, which he does in every time he confronts an ex-Muslim. But anyway, let's carry on.
based on the evidences, whether this claim is true or not, you follow it or not. Right? So can I get your phones, right? I'll give you a video on my channel you can watch, in which I put compelling evidences.
This guy is brilliant, man, I have to say. I mean, you could argue that, yeah, okay, he is kind of kind of aggressive, and he does like start swearing. He swears more than I do in an average video, to be honest, later on. But I love the guy's persistence. He's just like, we're not going to deal with any of this bullshit script that you're doing. Let's ask the hard questions.
Compelling evidences for the truthfulness of Islam, right? Why is Islam the truth? And it's an hour lecture. You're welcome to watch it. Say the evidence is truth, yeah. So if this is the case, and we have that Islam is true, meaning that Prophet Muhammad was a prophet. Okay.
Yeah, so he is getting quite heated now in the background. They're arguing with the other Muslims, but Muslim Lantern is just going on and on about, oh yeah, we've got all this evidence, all this truth. Yeah, you haven't got any of that, and I don't know what video he's talking about, which he's saying you should go and watch. But the next video I do, and it's quite interesting.
Don't talk.
الكاميرا قاعد تسجل يا زبالة.
Don't talk to him.
يا ضعيف. يا ضعيف.
All right.
ايش تبي انت؟ ايش تبي؟ None of your business.
Some people, do you see, this is the example of what happens to you when you leave Islam. You become like this, right?
He thinks that's like an own on ex-Muslims, but in a way he doesn't realize that says a lot about Islam, that when many ex-Muslims leave, they feel that passionate against the religion that they'll kind of explode like this, because it does so much harm in a lot of cases for ex-Muslims. They feel this amount of emotion to come back and critique their religion. So if this guy was a Christian or a Hindu or a Sikh or a Buddhist or whatever, they might be moved to criticize their religion, but they wouldn't be probably screaming in the street like this guy is now doing. So you think this is an own on ex-Muslims? I think it just shows how badly Islam treats ex-Muslims and why people leave in the first place. They leave with a vengeance.
Honestly, he is. He said he's an ex, right? This is the outcome of leaving Islam, right? So he's
Yeah, the outcome is that you want to challenge the horrible belief system you grew up with.
he's showing how these people behave, you know? No one is talking to him. We said to him, wait, we can have a discussion. But he's trying to violence, that's it, all right?
Well, there's been no violence. I mean, he's been shouting and he has sworn, although it's hard to hear what's been said in the background with the other Muslims. I mean, they could be swearing back at him. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, he is kind of over the top, but there's no violence going on.
All right, so here, if you go, this is my channel, right? Go to playlists, and then you have here, I'll just save to watch later, okay? Okay, that's fine, screenshot it, right? Watch that video, and within that video, you'll see evidences for why Islam is the truth. And then all I say to you is if you see evidence, you agree with the evidence, and follow the religion, okay? All right?
Yeah, and as I say, I have no idea what video he's talking about, but it's a Muslim Lantern video, so it'll be filled with lies and garbage.
Obviously, he's not saying it in the right way at all.
Yes.
But what's he saying about slavery? Like, is it accepting Islam?
Now, this is the brilliant thing, because as much as you could reasonably critique this guy. Now, he's going over the top of the ex-Muslim, but he has successfully brought this conversation around now where the other guys and non-Muslims he's talking to have now asked about slavery. And this is something that the Muslim Lantern doesn't want to do. So while, yeah, we could say he's gone over the top there, he has achieved something by getting the difficult questions to be asked. And now we're going to see Muslim Lantern just blatantly lie.
The same channel of mine I talked about, I have a video on that, right? Where I talk about it. We don't believe in slavery, it's term slavery. We don't believe in enslaving people.
Yeah, you don't believe in the term slavery. Yeah, you do a lot of bullshit about like trying to change the terminology. But you're saying that Muhammad forbade it, and this is the text he's put up. This is a hadith from Bukhari, I believe. This hadith does not say that slavery is forbidden. What it says is that if somebody is free, you just can't go along and grab them and enslave them, right? Muhammad set out particular rules that you have to follow in terms of getting slaves. So in other words, go capture them in war, for example, or you can buy them from the existing slave markets, or you can receive them as tribute, just like Muhammad did himself with Maria the Copt. But you can also breed your own slaves, essentially, because if you have a slave and you marry them to another slave, the children also become your slave. So it's an absolute lie. Not only does that hadith not back up what he's saying, it's an absolute lie to say that Muhammad or anything else in the Islamic scripture forbids slavery. Now, I'm sure long-term viewers will all know this, but I think it's worth emphasizing because he's just lied straight up to these guys in the street and this is what he's about.
Forbade the act, right? But they were captives of war, right? In Islam, you can watch.
Yeah, but they're still slaves, though. So you can't say that he forbids slavery and then say, oh, yeah, but you can go take slaves in war. And as I say, that's not the only way. I've listed the other ways you can do it. Muslim Lantern doesn't tend to acknowledge those ways. But you can't say he forbid it, but he also said you can get slaves this way. So he just contradicts himself.
That video because he's going to be very loud and he's going to be, and we're going to see just what's going.
Now, the funny thing is that video up on the screen there is one that I have reviewed, and I will put a link at the end of this because he's essentially talking to a new Muslim convert, and he lies over and over again to this guy about slavery because he's a new convert, and obviously, like so many of these converts, they don't really look into the religion first. They call people like him and then get some propaganda over these difficult issues. I've done a detailed breakdown, so if you haven't seen that video, watch it when you get to the end of this one. It was just amazing, though, that he brought that up as a defense because I absolutely killed him in my reaction video to this.
Okay, this is getting. Anyways, watch it. And by the way, you're welcome to reach out to me. Find on the channel, there's Instagram, Twitter, things like that. If you've got questions, you're welcome to reach out as well, or come another day, we can talk, right? Yeah, did I give it to you or no?
I'm stopping it here because I'm going to skip it forward to just one last bit at the end of the video. The ex-Muslim guy ends up calling the police because it gets a bit rowdy. There's no violence, there's just like shouting at each other. So the ex-Muslim guy goes and calls the police. Let's skip forward and see how PC Plod deals with this situation.
What? I just said to him, wait 10 minutes, give me 10 minutes, I'll talk to you, no problem. He started screaming, he didn't like it, that we're talking. And then essentially he just started making a scene. And then other people started coming, screaming. He said, I'll finish you in 5 minutes. I think he means intellectually, but I don't know what he means.
You know he meant in conversation, so you act, and I mean, yet you kind of acknowledge in the video that that's what he's saying. Yet you put in your title that he was threatening you. So I mean, what a hypocrite!
If you give me 10 minutes, I'll finish you intellectually. I'm an ex, means he left Islam, so he's just resentful of the religion essentially, and that's it. So he was just screaming, all these guys are against me. I don't even know the people he's talking to. So like,
so he didn't say anything racial or anything like that. It's more just being over the top.
Everything we.
So immediately the cop, because obviously any altercation with a Muslim obviously means it's racism. Any challenge of the Islamic scripture to the Metropolitan Police now is obviously racism. So, I mean, this is just like, I don't want to ever go too much of this cop, I suppose, because he's probably just, you know, this is what he's been taught. But it is just ridiculous that it was the other guy that called the police. And it's not like he is some obvious, like, Nazi-looking guy. I mean, he's a Middle Eastern guy, so clearly this is it's unlikely to be some kind of racial element to this. But that's what the cop immediately goes to.
Say this on camera, and if you'd like me to show it to you, I'll show it to you. I didn't speak to him at all. All I said is just wait 10 minutes, and that's it. That's it. I think it's.
So you just shouting irately. You didn't say anything here that was like racial.
Again, asking it's almost like he wants. Has he got a quota from Muslims to report, like, you know, Islamophobia or race hate crimes or something? I mean, is this cop going for his Dhimmi badge or something? It's just, it's pathetic to watch this. But anyway, that's pretty much the end of the video. But I just thought it was quite funny because, as much as you can say, like, this ex-Muslim was, you know, kind of aggressive verbally and stuff like that, he really did get onto the real issues that he doesn't want to talk. He wants to soft sell everyone that comes to that Dawah stall on, you know, just the easy stuff. He's never going to mention to a first-time person about slavery, about adultery, about cutting people's hands off, about killing apostates or gay people. None of that stuff is ever coming up. So in a way, I've got some respect for this ex-Muslim by like jumping in there and like forcing Dawah into an area that he didn't want to go in. And he had to lie blatantly on camera again on this issue of slavery to try and save face. So yeah, well done to the ex-Muslim. Maybe try and calm it down a bit next time you're going to do this. But yeah, I enjoyed it nonetheless. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed, and I shall see you next time.